What advice would you give to someone who wants to become a veterinarian? What's the most common health issues you see in pets? What is your favorite part of your job? Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So as you can tell by the title of today's video, today is going to be a Q&A where I'm going to be answering all of your questions. A couple days ago, I posted on the YouTube community tab if you guys had any Vetmed-related questions that you guys wanted me to answer, and a few of you guys responded, so I'm going to be answering those questions today. Yay! So I just got back from church, that's why I look a little dulled up right now, but I'm going to be reading the questions off of my laptop. Alright, so the first question is, what is your favorite part of your job? Alright, I would say that my favorite part of my job is truly being able to interact with the animals that walk through the door, to be honest, because I am an animal lover. Just being able to get my daily dose of that interaction with any pets that walk through the door is definitely one of my favorite parts of, working in the vet med field. I would say that my second favorite part of the job would be truly being able to fix a problem that an animal presented for. So being able to see the recovery process for that is just amazing. I actually recently posted a video of a dog that was impaled by a tree, and being able to fix that issue and being able to see the dog walk right out of the hospital like after something like that happened, being fixed and everything, like it's just truly amazing. Like it's the reason why I do this and that I am part of this field, to be able to see the recovery process for those animals. And by the way, that patient is doing so great. I'm so happy for him. Ultimately, I would say that's my favorite part of the job, just being able to see the recovery process for the animal or the patient that comes through the hospital door, if they presented for vomiting or diarrhea, just being able to fix that issue so they can go home to their family and go back to being a happy animal. So our second question is going to be, what's the most I can't speak today, oh my gosh. What's the most common health issue you see in pets? I would say the most common health issue I see in pets would be pyometria, which is an infection of the uterus, typically either female cats or female dogs, and this typically happens when you don't spay your pet. So that's a very common issue that I see walk through the doors. This can result in the patient being septic. Septic meaning that the body is responding improperly to the infection, and this could definitely lead to death. So it's a very serious, can I speak low-key? Thank you. So it's a very serious condition. So next question is going to be, what advice would you give to someone who wants to become a veterinarian? That is a loaded question. There are so many things that I would do differently now that I know everything that I know. So my first advice to someone who does want to become a veterinarian is that you actually do not need a bachelor degree to get into vet school or apply to vet school. If you do your research, you'll see that a lot of schools require 60 credits or a certain amount of prerequisites. So straight out of high school, you actually can just take those prerequisites and then apply to vet school. But I didn't know that right out of high school, so I went to my undergrad and did 4 to 5 years of undergrad, and then now I'm doing my master's. But that is the first advice that I would give to someone who is interested in becoming a vet. Just know that you do not need a bachelor's degree to get into vet school. You can take the prerequisites. There's a lot of prerequisites. Biology, physics, chemistry, biochemistry. You could take all of those prerequisites and then just apply to vet school, which will then save you just so much money. That's my first advice. My second advice for someone who wants to become a vet would be to take your school very, 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 very seriously. Take your academics very seriously. I wish I would have done that when I was in undergrad, to be honest. In my mind, I was like, you know what, C's get degrees, and you know what, C's do get you degrees, but it's just gonna make it so much harder for you to get into vet school if that's what you have in undergrad. So I would say to make sure you're on your P's and Q's when it comes to your classes. Make sure that you're giving it your very best. Make sure that you're doing everything that you need to do in order to get an A or a B in the class, so that you finish undergrad with a very strong GPA. Even when you think that a class may be an easy A, okay? Make sure you're still on top of that, because sometime in your mind you may think, okay, that's just an easy A, I don't need to put too much work into it, and next thing you know, you end up with a B- when you could have easily gotten an A. And I'm giving you all this advice, but I'm also talking to myself, because I need to be doing that too, to be honest. And I'm saying all of this because when it's time to apply to vet school, that is one of the top things that they look for, which is your GPA. And unfortunately, as much as some schools say that they have a holistic review where they look at everything, your GPA and your grades are still the number one thing that they're looking for. And to be a competitive applicant, you have to at least have a 3.5, 3.6 and above, to be honest. So I would say to really take your academics during undergrad or during high school very, very seriously, because in the long run, it will definitely help you. Third advice to someone who wants to become a vet would be to make sure, obviously, that you get experience, but not to just get experience in small animals. Make sure to get experience in exotics or large animals, because I do have a friend who did get into vet school, and she said that in one of her interviews, they asked her why she didn't really have much experience in exotics or large animals. So make sure that you're going to your local farm or any farm nearby to be able to get some kind of experience with large animals. And then for exotics, maybe going to a zoo near you to be able to volunteer and shadow, to be able to really get that experience with the exotics, because it's a bit easier to get experience with small animals, because you could easily do that at a doggy daycare, at a clinic, at a shelter, at an animal hospital. It's very easy to get small animal experience, but make sure you're also including your exotics and large animal as well. And my last advice would be to just not give up. If vet school is your dream, if it is your dream to become a veterinarian, I would truly say not to give up. Your journey is going to be different from somebody else's journey, so make sure that you don't compare yourself to somebody else. Make sure that you're just focused on your own journey. Things will work out the way it's supposed to be, despite of whatever happens, whether you're experiencing a bad grade, or maybe you didn't get in the first time or second time. Make sure not to give up. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on your dream. If this is something that you really want to do, fight for it, and make sure you put in the work for it as well. Nothing that is good comes easy to anybody. So make sure you're putting in the work. Make sure you're studying. Make sure you're dedicating your blood, sweat, and tears into whatever it is that you're doing, to make sure that you get the best result possible, to make yourself a very strong applicant. You can do this, and I can do this, so we'll see each other at the finish line. So the next question is going to be, how did you apply and got hired for your vet job, knowing that you're on your journey to be a vet? So I honestly just applied on the website. I've gotten that question a couple of times, and honestly, back in 2020 when I was looking for a job, my sister just sent me a link and I just applied, to be honest. But if you go on the Veg website and you scroll all the way to the bottom, there should be a section that says career. So once you click on the career tab, it should give you the option to fill out which job position you're interested in, whether it's vet assistant, vet technician, or being a scribe, and then they'll ask you, let me see, the zip code and then the area as well, so it can pinpoint to see which veg is nearest to you. And then it'll show you, it'll display a list of available positions that you can apply to. He just wanted to be part of this video very badly, so I thought you wanted me to hold you. Okay, all right. I don't know what he wants. Next question is, in your opinion, which route do you think is better? I want to become a doctor. Is it necessary to be a tech first, or do 4 years of school and then the DVM program? So it's not necessary for you to be a tech or get tech experience in order to get into vet school. I know a lot of people who are just assistants and had experience as veterinary assistant and got into vet school. So it's not necessary for you to go to tech school or become a vet tech before pursuing your dream of becoming a vet. But I do think that it makes more sense for you to do your 4 years of undergrad, and during the summers that you have in undergrad, you can use that time to maybe volunteer at a shelter or get a job at an animal hospital and become a vet assistant or a vet technician, you know, whichever one works out for you. And then of course do the DVM program. I hope that makes sense. He's so over me. The next question is going to be, hey girl, I just found your channel and I love it. Thank you so much. I'm working on my bachelor in animal science and then applying to vet school in 2 years. And in the meantime, I'm working as a vet assistant in general practice. But I'm leaning to working as a vet assistant in ER like you. Have you had experience in both? What are your thoughts? Love your videos. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Right, so my thoughts on working in general practice versus ER. So I've gotten that question a couple times, to be honest. So working in general practice is definitely a slower pace. It's very routine, right? So you have owners coming in to have their pets get vaccines, nail trim, ear infection, just a regular annual checkup, or maybe like annual blood work just to make sure everything is good. So that's pretty much it, to be honest. And then you come back into work and then do the same thing all over again: vaccines, nail trim, blood work, and all that jazz. So to be honest, it's very routine, and it's, to me personally, I felt like it was a bit of a slower pace, but I did feel like I learned a lot there, to be honest, and I'm very grateful for that experience. And my thoughts on ER, vet assistant as ER, is just chaotic, like the complete opposite of general practice. And I feel like they're just at both end of the spectrum, where I feel like general practice is very, like, you know, slow, routine, same thing, and then ER is just crazy. So yeah, so when I walk into my shift as a ER vet assistant, I never know what I'm walking into, to be honest. I never do. So I think that's what's exciting about working in ER, to be honest. You just never know what might walk through those doors. And I think that's what I really love about ER, because you just get to do so many things. To be honest, there's been time where I started my shift and like 15 minutes into it, you have a seizing patient walking through the door, or you have just like the dog that was impaled by a tree. You just have crazy cases like this, or a pet that is in dystocia. With dystocia meaning that the pet is having like a very difficult birth, where the fetus, the baby, may be stuck, you know, when, or as she was trying to push. So you just see really crazy cases like that. So to be honest, that's one of the reasons why I do love ER, as chaotic as it is. You just get to experience so much, you know. I get to be in surgery. I get to be part of like procedures, endoscopies, you know. It's just, I get to experience so much, and I'm just so grateful for that experience as well, because when I was in general practice, personally, I never assisted in surgery. But you know, when I'm in ER, I don't assist in surgery where my hands are in the body, but you know, I'm in the operation room and I'm able to help out in any way that I can. So it's just a really good opportunity. So I feel like it's so hard to compare the two, and I honestly, it all is dependent on the kind of person that you are and the kind of work environment that you're looking for. All right, next question is, did you have a previous experience before applying to veg? Did they do thorough training, or did they expect you to know a lot already? I don't know why this question makes me laugh. It's as if they know. Oh, there's more to it, sorry. I have no current experience in a clinic, but I am a kennel technician at a doggy daycare. I'd love to know your honest opinion on me getting hired and trained as a vet assistant at Veg. Okay. So yes, I did have previous experience before applying to Veg. I was a receptionist for about 2 years, and then a vet assistant for about a little over a year. So that was the bulk of my experience before applying to Veg. And then the second part of the question was, did they do thorough training? So when I applied, no. So when I applied, I didn't really feel like I got thorough training. I felt like it was kind of like you'll pick things up as you go, to be honest. But now they do have like, they did improve on their training for new hires. So now Veg has what they call Veg Cultivate, which is pretty much everything that you should know as a vet assistant. And pretty much you go through each and every one of them. They have videos on how to do them, what to do, and you can take notes, and then you can then proceed to complete it in person. So that kind of helps you level up too, because there's different levels to being a vet assistant or a vet technician, and as you complete each level you get to move up. So yeah, so let's say on the list it's like restraint, so it'll show you a video on how to restrain, and you'll be able to complete it in person, and once you complete it in person you can move on to the next task. So yeah, so although it is a teaching hospital and you do learn a lot and they teach you a lot, you still need to come in with some kind of like background experience to really be able to integrate smoothly into ER. Because they don't want to throw you into the wolves, to be honest, because ER is so crazy that you need some kind of like background experience before you truly get started into the field. So last question is, hey girl, I love your content. Thank you so much. I'm currently in vet tech school and was thinking about getting into emergency after graduate. How is it environment wise, and is the salary livable? So environment wise, it's chaotic. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, like it's crazy. ER is crazy, like it is, and that's why ER is either for you or it's not, to be honest, because overnights are crazy, day shifts are crazy. It's a crazy environment, but it's a very fun environment if you work with the right people. It's a very good experience in regards to learning. Like, you get to learn so much, you get to experience so much. So even though the environment is very fast-paced, I do think that the experience that you get from it is well worth it, to be honest. So yeah, so and also depending on which location you work at, it may not be a crazy environment. I know I said it's crazy, but I think my location where I work is known to be a very busy hospital where many people go to, so I think that's why it ends up being crazy. But I do hear that other location near us in our area, they don't get us crazy. They have pretty like good shifts, you know, where it's not too crazy. So it honestly, I think it depends on which location you apply to. So make sure that is something that you're considering when applying to a veg near you. Make sure you figure out whether or not it's a super busy hospital or if it's like, you know, kind of calm, chill. Because not all locations are like my location. My location is crazy day and night. And in regards to like maybe other aspect of the environment, when it comes to like environment between coworkers, like, to be honest, like that environment is really good for me. I really do enjoy the people that I work with. I enjoy my relationship with the doctors that work there, to be honest. The staff there is great, like even with the receptionist, like it's really a good environment. So I would say that the salary is livable. It might be a little tight, but you know, it's livable. When I think of is the salary livable, when I think of livable, I'm thinking of someone who isn't living at home, is maybe like renting and just maybe has just like, you know, everyday bills to pay. So in that aspect, I do think that it's livable, because after my undergrad, between my undergrad and my master's, I did take a couple of years off, so where I was just working. And at some point I did live with my cousin, so we did split the rent. And in addition to the rent, I did pay a lot of other bills, like, you know, car insurance, health insurance, phone bill, you know, on top of rent and utilities and all those things. And I still managed, to be honest. Like, the only reason I'm not living by myself with my cousin anymore is because I'm back in school. But you know, during that time that I can think of, I do think that that salary was livable. You just have to be very very smart about the way you spend your money, but I think it's very feasible to be able to live off of that salary. It might be a little tight though, but you know, you just have to manage your finances well. Okay, so I think this is all the questions we have for today. I surprisingly thought I would have enjoyed making a video like this over doing a vlog, because a vlog can sometimes be, you know, hard to record everything that's happening. But I found this video to actually be a little bit more difficult to record, because Loki's crying, and I just had to make sure, like, you know, I just gave you guys the best responses to your question. But I hope my advice was helpful. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.